but the resulting situation requires it. I didn't listen to Charlie Kirk outside of like one clip. I remember him asking a bunch of different people, "What is a woman?" Being deliberately obtuse to the nuance necessary for that answer. He obviously knew better than that. He wasn't trying to understand. He was just performing for his base. I didn't.
I think that goes both ways, though. There's going to be a lot of clips in his video here where he effectively says something which is twofold. It applies to both the right and the left. And he's going to act like the right is the only side doing this. But my problem is mainly just he is saying it's political theater. He knows that the answer is the question itself is very dishonest. It's a very dishonest question because he's trying to prompt a dishonest answer. However, in terms of the actual question, I do agree with what he's trying to propose in saying that biological females are biological adult human females are what is a woman, and biological adult human males are what is a man. Although we can get into disagreements I have with Kirk about what that entails or what that means, that's a different subject, but I didn't entirely agree with his social prescriptions he has on men, for example. He thinks a lot of things about males. I mean, he thinks men should, be entirely responsible for women, provide for them, that sort of deal. Your kind of traditionalist talking points. Kind of trad cuck nonsense, really. But that's kind of what he believed, and I disagree with that. And Aron, as he's called, he does very good videos in regards to science and evolution and that sort of thing. Historical records of fossils, and I guess you'd say prehistorical records, but that the kind of subjects on that matter. He's very good with regards to that. I'd say he's very good with regards to that. And with regards to debunking creationist and kind of theistic arguments. But in regards to his politics, his stances on X or Y stance for like leftist versus right wing, I'm mainly opposed to him. Although I do agree with him on a great deal number of things, I do disagree with him on some other matters too. But I'll continue on with the video.
I didn't know anything else about him, except that I think that there's a South Park character named after him. I don't watch much South Park either, so not sure.
That's a lie. What he's referring to, I'll scroll but he's talking about this clip right here, this kind of a context. There's a skit in South Park where he says this line. I missed. I'm not even finishing that, but there's a line in South Park that says that. And he's portrayed as like a character trying to debate online feminists who are like college kids. But I do love the irony of the college kids being all educated and all, well funded. And this idea that they know what they're doing, they're intelligent, they're smart actors in society. All for people like Charlie Kirk or Steven Crowder to mainly fucking embarrass them. There is like a couple standout people who then embarrass Charlie Kirk or Steven Crowder, but most of these examples are from non-liberal people. And I gotta say, too, is that it's very fascinating that non-college educated people tend to have a higher IQ than these college girls and these college kids who pretty much have no understanding of anything. which is part of my problem when they go to debate these college kids. You're effectively going for low IQ targets, which is an admission that a lot of these right-wingers, a lot of these conservatives, they cannot debate actual, I don't want to say like actual liberals, but I gotta say people who are actually competent at discussing. They actually have some sort of reputation, they actually have some sort of know-how on the topics they cover. I'm not gonna say Vosh is a genius, I'm not gonna say Hassan is a genius, I'm not gonna say a genius, but they are far more articulate and far more educated than half of these college kids. Actually, a majority of these college kids. A majority of these college kids go to get college education to, I don't know why, because they take stupid courses, but they try to get educated in a potential opportunity to get a job, which is what I'm guessing. Or at least that's what their parents wanted, and that's why they paid for it. But the idea that they're educated is just stupid. They have no, practical intelligence. They can't debate. They don't seem to know anything. I mean, you ask these people, hey, do you know who is the Queen of England? And they're like, who's the Queen of England? There was this one clip of this guy. He was doing interviews on the street, and he asked, did you know Donald Trump, his children were killing Triceratops, like the dinosaur? And they're like, really? That's not right. They can't hunt animals that are, like, endangered. He's like, yeah. But, a lot of these college kids, they don't know anything. Which is just ironic. Because despite them, like, flexing how educated they are, they know nothing. Literally nothing. And I probably yapped for a good 10 minutes by this point, and I'm not even 53 minutes in the video. I mean, 53 seconds in the video.
But the moment I saw the news that Charlie Kirk had been shot, I immediately posted my objection to political violence, saying that we should never attack our political or philosophical opposition physically. If we are at odds, and you can show me that I'm in the wrong, then I will change my mind and my position accordingly. But in this,
I don't believe that, because he holds a lot of opinions which are fundamentally incorrect. I don't think it's gonna work.